Mr. President, earlier this month, I announced that my current term of service would be my last. Since then, many of my colleagues have asked how I feel with my Senate tenure drawing to a close. I think many expect me to say that I feel an overwhelming sense of satisfaction or relief. Hardly. If anything, the decision to retire has imbued me with a sense of urgency as I've never felt before. With a year left in office, I have an agenda that is as ambitious as ever, and the ticking shot clock is a constant reminder of just how much I have left to accomplish. Just 168 legislative days remain in my Senate term. And I can assure you, Mr. President, that those 168 days will be among the proudest and most productive periods in all my public service. Anyone who thought that Orrin Hatch would coast quietly into this golden years clearly doesn't know me. The stars have aligned for this year to be among my most successful yet. So don't expect me to go gentle into that good night. Expect me to be right here on the Senate floor, early and often, pushing the most critical reforms of this Congress. Expect me to take the lead on a Finance Committee agenda that will equal in ambition our accomplishments of 2017. Expect me to be the same steady presence in this body that I've been for the last 41 years. Above all, expect a flurry of legislative activity from my office. I have a dedicated staff. They are determined to drive this old workhorse into the ground, and I have arguably the best working relationship with this president of anyone on Capitol Hill. Add to this the advantages that accrue from a lifetime of legislative experience and bipartisan deal-making. The point I wish to make is simple in legislative terms. My final year could very well be the most fruitful yet, and I hope it will be. In the months ahead, I'm eager to capitalize on our tax reform victory by putting the nation back on the path to fiscal sustainability, finding a way forward on immigration, and securing long-term funding for the Children's Health Insurance Program, a program that I helped put into law and have been very pleased with over the years. I also intend to update our intellectual property laws for the 21st century, enact key fixes to our higher education system, and fill our courts with as many qualified judges as possible. I likewise look forward to working with my colleagues across the aisle to improve the competitiveness of our workforce, strengthen the digital privacy, and blaze new trails on medical marijuana research. But this brief overview doesn't cover even half of my agenda for 2018, nor does it include some of the legislative surprises I plan for later this year. The virtue of being a 7-term senator with a reservoir of goodwill is that you have a little bit of latitude in your final year, and that's why my plan is to go big and to go bold. Because unless you're Michael Jordan, you only retire once, so you might as well make the most of it. The truth is, I put the pieces in place long ago to ensure that my final year in office would be a legislative knockout. So no one should count me out, not for a single second. And anyone who does should be reminded that I can do in just a few months what it takes most members a decade to complete. Mr. President, tough old birds like me don't have lame duck years. We just dig in and get tougher. For me, 2018 is not a victory lap, but a sprint to the finish. And I plan to finish strong. I look forward to working with all of you until the very end. And with that, Mr. President, I just want to say how much I love the Senate, how much I love my colleagues on both sides of the floor, how much I've enjoyed working with all of you over all these years, and will enjoy this remaining year, hopefully even more. And I hope that I can do some things that will be very beneficial to our country and to all of us, that will help us all to feel better about our service here and help us all to strive to do better together. Mr. President, with that, I yield the floor.